Have you ever wondered what happens inside her mind when you stop chasing, stop explaining, and simply detach? Not when you play games, not when you threaten to leave, but when you genuinely let go and focus on yourself. Most men think detaching makes a woman forget them. The truth is often the opposite. When your attention disappears, when your energy is no longer available, something begins to change inside her. The comfort she once felt is replaced by questions. The certainty she had starts to fade. And what she feels next may surprise you. Today, we're going to explore the 9 powerful emotions she experiences when you simply detach. Stay until the end because the last one will shock you. Comment: detachment is power. Number 1. Rejection. Nothing catches her attention faster than the day you stop giving away your time to someone who no longer values it. For a long time, she is used to your messages, your effort, your availability, and your willingness to place her needs ahead of your own. And because something is always available, it often loses its perceived value. This is where so many men get trapped. They believe that giving more will finally earn appreciation, yet the opposite often happens. The more they abandon themselves, the less respect they receive. Then one day, everything changes. You stop chasing. You stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to convince someone to see your worth. Suddenly, she notices the gap. Suddenly, the attention she once assumed would always be there is no longer arriving. This is not about punishment. This is not about playing games. This is about understanding one of the most important lessons in life. People often reveal how much they value something only when access to it is no longer guaranteed. Ask yourself a difficult question. How much of your life have you spent trying to earn approval from people who should have been investing in you as much as you invested in them? Think about the man who spends hours waiting for a reply while neglecting his goals, his health, and his future. He tells himself he is being loyal. He tells himself he is being patient. Yet every day he becomes more dependent on someone else's attention. Then he finally decides to change. He starts waking up earlier. He starts training consistently. He writes down his goals. He focuses on building a life he is proud of. He becomes busy creating rather than waiting. The fascinating part is that the moment he stops centering his world around her, she begins noticing what she overlooked. This is where Stoic thinking becomes powerful. Your peace cannot depend on another person's response. Your confidence cannot depend on another person's validation. Your direction cannot depend on another person's approval. The moment you understand this, you become harder to shake. You stop reacting to every message, every delay, every mixed signal. You begin acting according to your values instead of your emotions. And there is something else happening beneath the surface that few men understand. When you stop seeking constant reassurance, you become unpredictable in the healthiest possible way. People can no longer control you through attention because your purpose has become stronger than your desire for approval. But stay with me, because what happens next is where the real shift begins, and it forces her to confront something she never expected. Number 2. Emptiness. A strange emptiness begins to appear when the person who always contributed energy, effort, and presence is no longer there. At first, she may try to ignore it. She may stay busy. She may distract herself. She may tell herself nothing has changed. Yet daily life has a way of exposing what words try to hide. The good morning message is gone. The interest is gone. The reliability is gone. The person who consistently showed up is no longer occupying the same place in her world. This is where men need to understand something important. Your presence has value even when nobody acknowledges it. The problem is that you often underestimate your own impact because you become focused on what you are not receiving. You forget the stability, support, and attention you bring into other people's lives. Think about a household where one person quietly handles everything. They solve problems, they keep promises, they support others. Nobody talks about it because it has become normal. Then one day they stop. Suddenly, everyone notices. Not because they changed overnight, but because their contribution was invisible until it disappeared. The same principle applies in relationships. When you constantly make yourself available, your effort becomes background noise. When you step back and invest that energy into yourself, the absence becomes impossible to ignore. This is why your mission right now should not be to make someone miss you. Your mission should be to become so focused on building your life that you stop measuring your worth through another person's attention. Start with simple actions. Create a daily routine. Read for 30 minutes every day. Exercise even when you do not feel motivated. Learn a skill that improves your future. Spend less time checking your phone and more time building something meaningful. These actions sound small, yet they completely transform how you see yourself. The man who respects his own time begins attracting respect from others because he demonstrates that his life has purpose. Consider this scenario. Two men experience the same disappointment. One spends months replaying conversations and checking social media. The other spends those months improving his finances, his discipline, his confidence, and his health. A year later, their lives look completely different. One remains trapped in the same emotional cycle. The other has become someone new. Which path are you choosing today? Because the emptiness she experiences is temporary. The growth you create for yourself can last a lifetime. And what happens after that emptiness settles creates an even stronger response, one that starts occupying her thoughts in ways she cannot easily ignore. Number 3, curiosity. Suddenly you become the question she cannot answer. Human beings are naturally curious about what they do not fully understand, and when you remove yourself from a predictable pattern, curiosity begins to grow. She starts wondering where you are spending your time. She starts wondering what changed. She starts wondering why the person who once seemed fully focused on her now appears focused on something else. This is where many men make a critical mistake. Just when curiosity begins building, they rush back in. They send another message. They seek another conversation. They interrupt the very process that could have taught them the value of patience. Stoic discipline teaches something powerful. Not every urge deserves action. Not every emotion deserves expression. Sometimes strength is found in restraint. Think about how often impulsive decisions have created problems in your life. A message sent in frustration, a conversation started from loneliness, a decision made from desperation. Now compare that to the results that come from patience, the pause before reacting, the decision to focus on your purpose instead of your feelings, the commitment to long-term growth rather than short-term comfort. This is what separates emotional dependence from emotional mastery. Imagine a man who suddenly has free time because he is no longer investing all his energy into one person. He can spend that time wondering what she is doing, or he can spend that time becoming someone stronger. He can learn public speaking. He can improve his career. He can strengthen his body. He can develop confidence through action instead of imagination. One path creates progress, the other creates anxiety. Curiosity also works in another way. The less you explain yourself, the more people are forced to draw their own conclusions. When you constantly defend your value, you communicate uncertainty. When you quietly improve your life, you communicate confidence. People become curious about confidence because confidence is rare. They become curious about discipline because discipline stands out in a world filled with distractions. Ask yourself this: what would happen if the next 6 months of your life were completely dedicated to self-respect, growth, and purpose? What opportunities would appear? What habits would disappear? What version of yourself would emerge? Most men never find out because they quit too early. They seek immediate results instead of lasting transformation. But something fascinating happens when curiosity continues growing unanswered. It eventually forces deeper reflection, and that is where the next stage begins. Number 4. Regret. Few experiences are heavier than realizing the value of something after it is no longer available. As curiosity continues building, regret slowly enters the picture. She begins replaying conversations. She begins remembering moments she overlooked. She begins recognizing opportunities that were wasted. Yet this section is not really about her. It is about you. Because regret exists on both sides of every situation. How many opportunities have you lost because you settled for less than you deserved? How many goals have you delayed because you were distracted by someone else's choices? How many years have been spent waiting for a person to change while your own life remained on hold? These are difficult questions, but growth begins with difficult questions. Too many men carry silent regret. Regret for not taking action sooner. Regret for ignoring warning signs. Regret for sacrificing their standards. The good news is that regret can become fuel if you use it correctly. Instead of asking why something happened, ask what it is teaching you. Instead of asking why someone failed to appreciate you, ask how you can build a stronger future. Every setback contains a lesson if you are willing to learn it. Imagine a man who spends years seeking validation from one relationship. Then it ends. At first, he sees only loss. Months later, he realizes the experience forced him to become stronger, more disciplined, more independent, and more self-aware. The event that once looked like destruction becomes the beginning of transformation. This is why Stoic principles remain timeless. You cannot control another person's actions. You cannot control another person's appreciation. You cannot control another person's choices. You can control your response. You can control your habits. You can control the standards you live by every single day. That is where real power exists, not in changing others, but in changing yourself. The question now becomes whether you will use this moment as a turning point or another excuse to stay stuck. Because what comes next reveals something even deeper, and it changes the entire dynamic in a way that catches people completely off guard. And if this realization is hitting you deeply right now, this is exactly why the Stoic relationship blueprint was created for men who are tired of repeating the same painful patterns and are ready to build unshakable self-respect, stronger boundaries, emotional discipline, and lasting confidence through timeless Stoic principles that can transform your life starting today. The book is linked in the comments, and it is now available in audiobook format as well, allowing you to absorb these life-changing lessons while taking a walk, jogging, driving, training, or going about your day. And because it is yours forever, you will always have access to this wisdom whenever life tests you again. And there is something even more exciting coming: the Stoic Relationship Blueprint. Course for Men is launching in the coming weeks, designed to help you apply these principles step by step in your daily life, so you can create real transformation instead of temporary motivation. And if you want early access before everyone else, comment Blueprint below and make sure your name is on the list. Number 5. Self-doubt. An uncomfortable question begins living in her mind when she realizes you are no longer trying to convince her to stay connected to you. For a long time, she may have assumed that your attention would remain available no matter how little effort she invested. Yet when you detach and begin focusing on your own path, uncertainty starts replacing certainty. She starts wondering whether she misunderstood your value. She starts wondering whether she made assumptions that no longer match reality. What matters for you is not what she thinks, but what this teaches you about life. The strongest position you can ever occupy is the position of self-respect. The second you stop trying to force someone to recognize your worth, you become free. Think about how many people spend years chasing clarity from someone who has already shown them everything they need to know through actions. They analyze messages, they search for hidden meanings, they wait for signs. Meanwhile, their own dreams sit untouched. Their health declines, their confidence weakens, their standards drop lower and lower until they no longer recognize themselves. This is why detachment is not about another person. It is about returning to yourself. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that your growth becomes your primary mission. Instead of checking your phone first thing in the morning, you write down 3 goals. Instead of spending hours wondering why someone pulled away, you spend that time building a better future. Instead of seeking closure from someone else, you create closure through action. This is how transformation begins. It begins quietly. It begins with discipline. It begins when you stop asking why she did what she did and start asking what you need to do next. The fascinating thing is that when your life gains direction, you stop becoming emotionally dependent on outcomes you cannot control. You become calmer. You think more clearly. You stop reacting to every disappointment. You begin understanding that your value exists whether someone acknowledges it or not. Ask yourself a difficult question. If she never came back, would your life still move forward? If the answer is no, then your mission is not to get her back. Your mission is to build a life so meaningful that your happiness no longer depends on one person. Start small. Read 10 pages every day. Exercise 4 times a week. Learn a skill that increases your opportunities. Save money consistently. Develop habits that create confidence through evidence rather than wishful thinking. Every small promise you keep to yourself strengthens your character. Every excuse you eliminate strengthens your discipline. Every step forward builds a version of you that no longer seeks permission to become great. And as this shift takes place, something else begins happening on the other side of the equation. Something that changes the emotional dynamic in a way few people expect. Number 6. Missing you. A deep sense of absence starts growing when she realizes that your presence contributed more to her life than she originally understood. People often become familiar with consistency without recognizing its value. They become used to someone checking in, listening, supporting, encouraging, and showing up. Then one day, that person is no longer there, and suddenly, the ordinary things become extraordinary because they are gone. This is where so many viewers need to pay attention, because there is a lesson far bigger than relationships hidden inside this experience. Your contribution matters. Your effort matters. Your character matters. The problem is that you often forget this because you focus on what you are not receiving instead of recognizing what you are giving. Think about the reliable friend who always helps others but never asks for help. Think about the hard-working person whose effort is ignored until they leave. Think about the family member who quietly holds everything together. Their value becomes obvious only after their absence creates a gap nobody else can fill. The same principle applies here, yet there is another lesson you must understand. Missing someone is not proof that they deserve access to your life again. Too many people confuse longing with change. They assume that because someone misses them, everything will be different. Real change is demonstrated through actions over time. Real growth is shown through consistency. Real respect is revealed through behavior. This is why your focus must remain on yourself. Continue building your routines. Continue improving your discipline. Continue becoming stronger physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally. Let your growth become your response. Imagine 2 different futures. In one future, you spend the next year waiting for someone to recognize your value. In another future, you spend the next year recognizing your own value and building a life that reflects it. Which future creates confidence? Which future creates peace? Which future creates options? The answer is obvious, yet so many people choose the harder path because they are afraid of letting go. Detachment teaches you that letting go is sometimes the beginning of receiving something better. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because your energy is no longer trapped in places where it cannot grow. Every day you invest in yourself is a vote for the future version of yourself. Every disciplined action sends a message that your standards matter. Every decision to move forward strengthens your ability to create the life you want. And as your life improves, a new emotion starts appearing, one that often surprises people more than any of the previous stages. Number 7. Fear. A powerful sense of uncertainty begins taking hold when she starts realizing that your life is continuing without her at the center of it. This is where reality becomes impossible to ignore. For a long time, she may have believed that your attention would always remain available. She may have assumed that no matter what happened, you would continue waiting, hoping, and pursuing. Then she notices something unexpected. You are moving forward. You are becoming stronger. You are becoming more focused. You are creating progress without needing constant validation. This is where many viewers discover one of the greatest lessons of Stoic thinking. Your power increases when you stop trying to control things outside yourself. The more you try to control another person's choices, the weaker you become. The more you focus on controlling your own actions, the stronger you become. Think about how much energy is wasted every day worrying about things that cannot be controlled. People worry about being liked. They worry about being chosen. They worry about being accepted. Meanwhile, they neglect the very things they can improve immediately: their habits, their health, their discipline, their mindset, their future. Imagine if all the energy you spent worrying was redirected into growth. Imagine if every hour spent overthinking became an hour spent learning. Imagine if every disappointment became motivation instead of paralysis. Your entire life would change. This is why the goal is not to make someone afraid of losing you. The goal is to become so committed to your purpose that you no longer fear losing people who fail to appreciate your value. There is freedom in that mindset. There is confidence in that mindset. There is peace in that mindset. When you stop operating from fear, you start making better decisions. You stop tolerating behavior that violates your standards. You stop settling for relationships that drain your energy. You stop chasing people who repeatedly show you where you stand. Instead, you build a life that reflects self-respect. And when self-respect becomes your foundation, everything changes. Your decisions change. Your standards change. Your opportunities change. Your future changes. Yet the next stage reveals something even more interesting because it exposes what people often want after they finally understand what they lost. Number 8. Desire. An intense desire to reconnect often appears once the reality of your absence becomes fully understood. Yet, this is where you must remain disciplined because desire can be misleading. People desire many things. They desire comfort. They desire familiarity. They desire attention. They desire certainty. The important question is whether they desire growth, accountability, and genuine effort. This is where your standards become essential. Too many people abandon their standards the second someone returns. They forget the lessons they learned. They forget the pain that pushed them toward growth. They forget the promises they made to themselves. Then they find themselves repeating the same cycle. Do not make that mistake. Let this experience teach you discernment. Imagine a man who spends months transforming his life. He improves his health. He develops confidence. He strengthens his discipline. He creates financial stability. Then someone who ignored him suddenly becomes interested again. The old version of himself would immediately welcome that attention. The new version pauses. The new version observes actions rather than words. The new version asks whether this connection aligns with his standards and goals. That difference changes everything. Stoic thinking teaches patience. It teaches observation. It teaches emotional control. Instead of reacting immediately, you evaluate carefully. Instead of chasing comfort, you pursue wisdom. Instead of making decisions based on temporary emotions, you make decisions based on long-term consequences. Ask yourself this question: are you building a life that attracts quality people, or are you building a life that depends on specific people? There is a huge difference. One creates freedom, the other creates dependency. This stage is not about proving your value to someone else. It is about proving to yourself that your standards are real. Standards mean nothing when they are convenient. Standards matter when they cost you something. They matter when they require patience. They matter when they require discipline. They matter when they require you to walk away from situations that no longer serve your future. Continue investing in yourself. Continue strengthening your habits. Continue creating a life that excites you, because the final stage reveals the ultimate test of everything you have learned during this journey. Number 9. Pursuit. An undeniable shift takes place when the roles reverse, and she begins investing effort into reconnecting with someone she once assumed would always be available. Yet this stage is not the victory many people think it is. The real victory happened much earlier. The real victory happened when you stopped abandoning yourself. The real victory happened when you chose growth over obsession. The real victory happened when you decided that your future mattered more than chasing someone's attention. This final lesson may be the most important lesson in the entire video. Never build your identity around being chosen by another person. Build your identity around becoming someone you respect. Relationships become healthier when they are built on mutual respect rather than dependency. Confidence becomes stronger when it is earned through action rather than external approval. Happiness becomes more stable when it is created internally rather than borrowed from circumstances. Think about the version of yourself that started this journey. The uncertainty, the overthinking, the frustration, the need for answers. Now think about the version of yourself that can emerge if you apply these principles consistently. A person with standards, a person with discipline, a person with direction, a person who understands that setbacks can become stepping stones when approached correctly. This is not just about one woman. This is about every area of life. The same discipline that helps you handle relationships helps you build a career. The same patience that helps you detach helps you achieve long-term goals. The same self-respect that improves your standards improves every decision you make. Write down your goals. Break them into small daily actions. Track your progress every week. Remove habits that weaken your focus. Spend more time creating than consuming. Spend more time building than complaining. Spend more time becoming than wishing. These simple actions seem ordinary, yet they completely transform lives when repeated consistently. 1 year from now, you can either be the same person hoping for different results, or you can become someone whose entire life reflects growth, strength, discipline, and purpose. The choice is always yours. And that is the lesson hidden beneath everything we discussed today. Your greatest power is not making someone chase you. Your greatest power is becoming someone who never needs to chase what is not meant for him, because he is too busy building a life worth living. If this message awakened something inside you, comment, "I am the prize" below. If you're ready to stop chasing validation, start building real self-respect, and get your copy of the Stoic Relationship Blueprint for Men, a powerful guide filled with timeless Stoic principles that can transform your life immediately. It's linked in the comments and now available in audiobook format, so you can absorb this life-changing wisdom while taking a walk, jogging, driving, or training. And unlike temporary motivation, this knowledge is yours forever. The uncomfortable reality is that few men are ever taught these lessons, which is why so many spend years trapped in the same painful cycles. So like this video and subscribe to help more men discover these truths before they waste more time on the wrong path. And if you're serious about transforming your life and relationships, keep an eye out for the Stoic Relationship Blueprint course, launching in the coming days and built from more than 2,000 years of proven Stoic wisdom that has stood the test of time and is now ready to be applied in your own life.